Starting with the room itself, as you can see, this is a little bit of a tight space to work out in. It's only a 9-foot by 11-foot room. However, that's plenty of room for a home gym as long as you are conscious about how much space you're taking up with all of your equipment. I pulled all the carpet out and all the padding out beneath it and put in some 3/4-inch rubber horse stall mats from Tractor Supply. This room also has a little closet. I pulled the doors off the closet and I use it to store a bunch of different gear. We'll get to some of that in a little while. Now, the most important piece of equipment for any good home gym is going to be at least a decent quality barbell. This here is a B&R barbell from Rogue Fitness. The reason I chose the B&R bar, it was being sold with some other gym equipment that I bought a few years ago, but I'm actually glad I wound up with it. It's a pretty stiff bar, which works out well for me since I lift in the USAPL, and it's actually built to IPF competition specs. The next piece of equipment here is my Titan T3 power rack. I used to have a Titan T2 power rack. However, I upgraded to the T3 simply because it's a much thicker gauge of steel and much more sturdy, as well as has a few more equipment options. I opted to bolt this one into the concrete because whenever I re-rack a squat, especially if it's heavy, I prefer to just lean it back into the power rack instead of having to walk the weight back in. I feel like this is less risky and conserves energy. One thing I like about the T3 power rack a lot is that it has very close hole spacing here in the middle, and it gets further spread out up at the top. This is nice because whenever you're trying to really dial in a bench press rack height, having holes that are this close together really helps you pick out a good height. I actually opted to get the 2-pair J-cups for this rack because sometimes my wife and I lift weights together, and this is a really good setup for two people who use vastly different weights and different heights for their workouts. Up here I have a pair of dip handles. I just have them stored here for the time being just to keep them out of the way. This is a decent place to store them just so I don't hit my head on them or trip on them all the time. Like I said, I don't have a lot of space in here. I also like this power rack has a thicker pull-up handle. I think this is a 2-inch diameter handle for pull-ups, and they also include a standard, I believe a 1-inch handle here. This rack also comes with some band pegs and some plate storage posts. I don't use the band pegs very often. However, occasionally I have done banded bench press, some banded squats, or some banded deadlifts, just for some variation. This rack does use the pin and pipe safety system, which I was a little bit skeptical at first because you can see this is not a thick pin. However, with the pin and pipe together, it's actually very, very strong. I've failed with a considerable amount of weight on this rack with squats, and it has not bent or damaged them in any way. This is my Titan Fitness flat bench. It is built to IPF competition standards. It's very similar to a bench that Rogue builds, however, it was considerably cheaper at only about $100. Only complaint about this is the surface material is not quite that grippy. So I actually wind up using a piece of this yoga mat that I lay out on top of it whenever I'm doing some heavy bench work and I don't want to slide. Or I wear one of my A7 fitness shirts, which works out really well. It has some wheels and lets you roll it around the room, which is really helpful. Here I have some Rogue high-temp bumper plates. My wife likes to use the 25s whenever she warms up with her deadlifts, and I will definitely use this whenever I need just some more weight on the bar, like a really heavy deadlift. And here are the rest of my weights. You can see I have here some 45s, some 10s, 5s, and 2.5s. They are stored on a plate holder that I built myself just to kind of keep everything all in one place. This way all the 45s are kind of spaced out where they're really easy to grab and then load on the barbell, which is sitting right here. And the rest of my plates are screwed into this 2x4. Here I have my T-bar row station. You can see it's built up off the ground. Normally I would just like to attach this to the floor and just screw it right into the concrete. However, because it sits directly across from my squat rack, if this were to sit on the floor, then the barbell would hit my squat rack and it would not let me get a full range of motion when it comes to rows. So I solved that by just simply raising it up off the ground a little bit and attaching it to the wall with some angle pieces. Seems to be pretty sturdy, but I think I may need to upgrade this as I get stronger. I went ahead and put a chalk bowl into the wall. I thought about building a little freestanding chalk bowl, however, just keeping it against the wall is a nice way to keep it out of the way and keep it in one place. One upgrade I'm really glad I made to this room is installing a fan. It just gets really warm in this room. I don't have to cool my whole house down to keep it cooler in this room if I have this fan on. You can see I had to switch to an extension cord because they send this fan out with a 5-foot extension cord. I knew that before I installed it, but I wanted it high enough off the ground where it didn't hit my head on it. So I had to go ahead and just plug it in with an extension cord. I probably should just run an extra outlet up by this fan, but I'm very lazy and don't want to do that. Here, there's a exercise bike by Titan Fitness. I don't think it's actually made by Titan Fitness. I think it's just branded by Titan Fitness because I've seen this exact same bike for sale in other colors sold by other companies, but it works out pretty well. My wife mostly uses this. I'll occasionally hop on it and get a little bit of cardio in. Over here, I have some other barbells and dumbbells. First up, I have my Titan Fitness Safety Squat Bar. I'll probably be posting a full review of this bar at some point, but this is another piece of equipment I'm very glad I got. This is just another cheap barbell. It's nothing spectacular, and I don't suspect it would handle a lot of weight, but it works out well enough for a second bar. I have a little easy curl bar and some dumbbell handles, and both of these are something I also got used with a lot of my plates. And over here, I have some band storage, some chain storage, and storage for my dip belt. All right, up next we have some dumbbells. These are my Bowflex adjustable dumbbells. They go up to 90 pounds, so they're good enough for most applications. My big complaints about these is just exactly how bulky they are. Even if you want to use only a set of 20 pounds right now, this dumbbell is huge for a 20-pound dumbbell. So, but they're very convenient to adjust. You simply turn this knob and adjust them. So I'm borrowing these from a friend who's not really using them. These are power block dumbbells, and if you want to use a 20-pound power block dumbbell, it's significantly smaller. So for certain movements like overhead press or curls, using the smaller dumbbell is just much more comfortable. So I'm glad I'm able to borrow these and have 2 pair of dumbbells for now. As far as equipment stored in the closet, we'll go over these really quickly. Mostly in here, I keep all of my sleeves, wraps, straps, any of that kind of equipment, as well as some like mobility equipment, like some lacrosse balls. We're not gonna bother pulling all that out. Here we keep our belts and some other wraps. We keep several pairs of shoes in here. And here are some blocks that I built. These are 2-inch tall blocks, and these are approximately 4-inch tall blocks. I use these for either block pulls, deficit deadlifts. These are probably the ones I use most often. These 2-inch blocks make for a really good deficit for sumo deadlifts that I really feel like has helped build my deadlift a lot. Here is where I store my Titan Fitness adjustable bench. This bench is okay quality. It's not very sturdy, is my biggest complaint about this bench. However, it does get the job done. It lets me do some, incline barbell, incline dumbbell, all kinds of stuff like that. I keep my ab wheel up here as well. And speaking of that ab wheel, I have a mat down here that I also use with the ab wheel just to do some ab wheel rollouts. And that's pretty much the only ab work I get done at this home gym. And here I have a deadlift jack, which has been a very good purchase. It really helps me be pretty lazy when it comes to unloading and loading plates for the deadlift. And finally here I have some speakers. Gotta have some music when you work out. I used to have a Bluetooth speaker, which I actually still have right there. However, it stopped working because it's not built very well. So I've been plugging my phone into these speakers ever since. But I do plan on getting another Bluetooth speaker. It's just been very convenient. Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to watch the tour of my little home gym here. If you have any questions about any of the equipment I showed in this video today, go ahead and just leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer it as quickly as I can. And if you want to see more content like this, or if you want to see some full reviews of some of the equipment that I posted in this video today, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I will be uploading regularly on this channel from this point forward. Thanks.